Your foot there, that sounds great. And what's the next thing we need to do for you preparing the car to move off?
I've got to get them feet kind of. Oh, I've got to bring the clutch up centimetre at a time.
Yeah.
Another centimetre. Another centimetre.
Stop there.
Oh yeah, I can hear the engine note changing now. Yeah.
Engine note changed.
Yeah.
So keep your feet there. So you've got that biting point now.
Yeah. And why is it important?
And it's so. Why is that important that we do that?
Oh, didn't you say if I had the clutch too, if I wasn't on biting point, I could roll back or not move away at all?
And what would the consequences of rolling back be?
Well, I could hit a car behind, couldn't I?
You could do, yeah, or a pedestrian looking to cross the road. Yeah, or you could surge forward as well. If you've got your clutch too high and you've got more power going to the engine than you need, you could surge forward.
So you could have actually asked that as a question, couldn't you?
Yeah.
And you know, can you remember what would happen if you got the clutch too high? I might remember, I might not.
Yeah. So if your clutch is too high, Tony, what do you think the consequences of that would be?
Oh, I could go shooting down the road, couldn't I?
Could do, yeah. Yeah. And what could happen?
Well, with the way I steered on the last one, quite a lot.
Yeah. So it's, you know, you've got to be aware that there's, you know, it could be an accident situation there as well.
Yeah.
So that's why we select that biting point.
Oh, right.
And well done for that. You kept your feet still there while we're just talking about that. So you have that biting point now. So what's the next thing we need to do?
The O, isn't it? Observations.
Observations. So where are we checking first?
Now I check in there. There's not much point in doing all the rest of the checks if there's 100 cars coming up behind me, is there?
You're absolutely right in what you say there. You need to check the internal mirror first. Yeah. And why do we check that first?
Well, there's not much point in carrying on with the rest of the observations if I've got loads of cars coming up behind me, is there?
But you also need to consider what's going on in front of you as well. And also, we covered those blind spots as well, didn't we? So you can't see everything through there, can you?
I'm just actually breaking it down to stages I can remember.
Okay.
So I check in there.
Yeah.
There's nobody coming behind me, so I can carry on with the rest of the observations.
Okay, so where are we looking next?
I'm going to look in that left door mirror.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure what I'm looking in there for, but I'll have a look anyway.
What are you checking for in there? Do you remember when we were turning left as we were driving here? What were you always checking for in that left mirror?
Oh, cyclists, but they don't. But I'm too close to the curb for cyclists to come down, aren't I?
And what else are we also checking for on the pavement as well?
Listen to my answers. Yeah, you have to think back to what instructions you've given me.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to remember which bit of the brief, yeah? So what I'm checking in that door mirror is that it is possible for cyclists to come down the pavement, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they could decide to ride off in front of me.
Yeah.
Or there could be a pedestrian walking down the pavement and they could decide to cross the road in front of me, yeah?
Got you. Okay, so...
and then I need to look at that. I can see a pedestrian in that driveway. Well, she's cutting her grass, I think.
Okay, so you check your blind spot there. Where else are we going to check now, Tony?
There's nobody ahead of me.
Yeah.
There's nobody overtaking me. And then I have to look between that head restraint and that door pillar.
Okay, so look there, Tony.
Nobody there.
Okay, and now what are we going to consider
before
we move off?
I can't see anybody around it.
Okay.
I don't think there's any need for a signal, is there?
So I think, yeah, you've got to be aware of who you're signalling to. So if it's safe to do so, we can move off without a signal.
I've got a learner coming up behind me.
So just check your mirror again. Have we got anyone behind us?
Yeah.
What have we got behind us?
Learner.
Okay, so what are we going to do?
Just let him go past?
We'll let him go past first, won't we?
I've got a taxi.
Okay, so again?
Just wait for the taxi to go, I suppose, isn't it?
That's it. And what's the reason that we do that?
Well, I don't pull away and hit him, do I?
Absolutely right.
So can I go now? Okay,
so you're going to do now, because the road conditions have changed slightly there, so we're going to do our observations again before we move off.
Oh yeah, all around me. Yeah, still all clear.
And then we're going to release the handbrake.
All right.
And then we're going to steer 5 minutes to the right.
Oh, 5 minutes.
And then 5 minutes towards me. And 5 minutes towards me again. And straighten up there, Tony.
All right.
And just thickness of a pound coin. Just accelerate a little bit, put your foot on the gas there. Can you feel how sensitive that gas is there?
Yeah.
Okay, and just before this lamppost on the left-hand side here, that's where we're going to pull up.
Right.
So I want you to check your mirror. So which mirrors are we going to check?
Interior mirror.
Okay, we're going to consider a signal here. What have we got coming towards us?
Oh, the AA car.
Okay. So you're going to put your signal on.
All right. Yeah.
And then we're going to take your foot off the gas, cover the brake, and I want you to steer 5 minutes towards me, and we're going to pull up. Now straighten up. Remember that reference point?
No, I don't remember the reference point. Come on, give me proper instructions on the steering, yeah? 5 minutes towards you, and then straighten up is going to do what to me? Right, go on, tell me to stop.
Okay,
Touch down.
now stop.
Touch down. Brake.
And brake. And remember that thickness of a £1 coin on your brake as well?
Keep your feet still.
Keep your feet still, and we're going to secure the car. So we're going to engage the handbrake.
Engage it.
So we're going to pull the handbrake up,
Alright.
so it's safe. We're going to take the car out of gear.
Alright.
And how are you checking that's in neutral? Okay. We're going to cancel the signal now, because we don't. So we've got this chap coming out of his driveway here. We don't want to confuse him. What we're doing.
Right.
And then we can take our feet off the pedals.
Oh, okay.
All the way off.
Have a relax for a minute.
It's that bloody steering, isn't it? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah, you got some of it right. What you need to do is you need to break it down in your own head.
Yeah.
The routine. I mean, you're trying to teach me a routine, but you're not following it yourself, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
To come back in, I'm using the mirror signal position speed up routine, yeah?
Yeah.
Break it down in your own mind. Tell me the mirrors to check.
Yeah.
Is a signal required? Obviously I won't know that until I check the mirrors, yeah?
Yeah.
Position? Obviously the control element is going to be off the gas, cover the brake.
Yeah.
And then you need to talk me into the position, don't you?
Yes.
And it's going to be
So I'm steering 5 minutes
five
to the
minutes
left.
to you, yeah?
5 minutes to me.
Or 5 minutes to the left, doesn't matter. And then you can you can go from there straight to 10 minutes to the right, yeah?
Yeah.
Which is going to mean I'm going to straighten the wheel up and have 5 minutes to the right,
Yeah.
yeah? Which, what's going to follow that?
Then you're going to pick up your...
No, come on, think about the steering. If that steering is wrong...
Oh, so then you straighten up.
Yeah.
So then you bring it back 5 minutes to the left.
Yeah.
And keep the wheel straight.
Clutch down. And obviously I gave it a nice abrupt stop there for the simple reason is that because you're running out of time there and,
Yeah.
and you didn't have a chance to say, now break the thickness of a £1 coin, another thickness of a £1 coin.
Yeah.
Yeah? And then as soon as I stop, if I was a real learner, I'd be starting to relax now, wouldn't I? Because the car is gone from moving.
Yeah.
And even though it's only 5 mile an hour, that 5 mile an hour is going to feel like 50 mile an hour to a learner.
Yeah.
So I am going to relax at that point.
Yeah.
Phew, I stopped. Yeah.
But we need to secure the car.
Yeah. What's my feet going to do?
They're going to come straight off,
Yeah,
and you're going to
of course they are. Yeah.
stall it.
Yeah. So, you know, we've gone through all that process of get me to move off without stalling.
Yeah.
Get me to drive down the road without stalling, and then I stop and end up stalling. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is exactly the same with a real learner. They will relax. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep your feet still. Keep your feet still. Because it's going to be a real confidence boost for them if they don't stall. Obviously, if they stall, it's not a great big problem. But it's going to be a real confidence boost if they don't stall. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice. It's nice for them to go home at the end of their lesson and say,
Yeah.
I moved off and I stopped without stalling. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know they can see you haven't done the work for them. They can see your feet well away from the pedal, so they know they've done it themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a great confidence boost, because if you speak to learner drivers, especially if they've had a little go with looking out with a dad around the car park, and I had one the other day who had an hour with her dad going around the car park. I hope he's not watching this. And she was saying, you know, as I was driving her to a suitable area to do our controls lesson, and I said, have you ever had a go at driving? She said, yeah, I had a go in the car park the other day. I said, how'd it go? She goes, oh, I stalled every time I pulled away, and every time I stopped, and my dad's nose was bouncing off the windscreen. You know, so it's that's all they're thinking about on the very first lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Blaine said that if you ask learner drivers, the two things they're most frightened about when learning to drive is crashing and stalling.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, we don't class stalling as a big thing. It's a learning process, but to a learner, it is a big thing.
Yeah.
And if it carries on happening, it gets very frustrating.
Yeah. 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 It's just being. It's literally just being that concise with them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the key. Yeah.
Right. So we'll give that a pause for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not easy, is it?
It's not easy. That is not
Right?
easy. That one.
Yeah. So
That's a lot harder than I thought it would be. That one.
Yeah. So what are you learning from it?
So I'm learning. Be totally concise with them, but also telling them. I'm telling them how they're going to do it, but why they're doing that. So why they're finding the biting point, why it's important not to have it too high or too low. So it's always the why
And the consequences.
and the consequences of doing that.
Yeah. So they're not going to learn very much from just what, yeah?
No.
Yeah, you could probably teach your dog to do that, couldn't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, it's things that are going to stick in their mind, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the whole analysation. You remember the week before last we done the what, why, how.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to apply to anything that you're teaching me, yeah.
Yeah.
Or any time I make an error, we have to go through what I done wrong, why I done wrong, and how I do it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we call the core comps, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 core comps.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
So I should give that a pause.
Woo.